here's the update. On the last video, it showed Joe and myself putting in the engine, and then after we got it in and stuff, I posted that I'm looking to trade my 4L80E, which is against the class rules to have in this Trailblazer, for a 4L65E. Somebody replied, and he's like, hey, so you want to trade like right now, tonight? And this was like, I don't know, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. And yeah, then it was like, well, how far away are you? He said, I have 45 minutes or less. So yeah, I called up my neighbor Eric, and he dropped his dinner to come over and help me yank that out in record time. We did have a little bit of an incident. All that big stain there. We get the transmission out and stuff, and then we go to slide it out, and pop, there goes the dipstick, and fluid is everywhere. But we did get it out. That's the new one. Oh, he said, you know, he doesn't know the condition. He was told it works. It has a remanufactured sticker on it. So I'm gonna hope that it works. And then also I got a 241C transfer case for $100. After pressure washing it, I thought, well, it looks like there's a crack going down it. So I told my buddy Travis, I said, hey, this case that I just bought has a crack in it. He said, well, I have this other case, it's another 241C, it's missing the input shaft. But yeah, he said that, well, take this one. But after sanding this, I'll show you guys this. After sanding this, the crack and stuff, I'm not sure that it is a crack. I think it might be just a slag mark, even though I've never seen a slag mark like this. It's normally slag marks are like scattered, the spider web look, but this one was going down the case, so I may just run it as is. So here's the crack. Let's see if I can get this to focus. I thought it was a crack at first, but now I'm kind of thinking it was a slag mark. Let's see how close I can get this camera here. So I sanded it down, and as I sanded, I mean, I can rub grease in there or whatever to see if there's still a hairline crack, but I'm really starting to think that it was just a slag mark. I'm not used to seeing slag marks like that. I don't know if, here's the other case. But normally I see slag marks being like more of a spider web look and not a line like that. So I think I'm just gonna use it as it is, because I don't know, what do you guys think? Because I'm thinking that that's not an actual crack. Also, what I'm doing with this transfer case is I'm not doing a slip yoke eliminator, you know, the bolt-on type. I'm actually going to do a hack and tap and not shorten up that rear tail housing, because I got enough room in the Trailblazer that I don't really have to do that. So I'll do the flat flange. That way I can run the 2011 Super Duty front drive shafts. That's what I ran on my last the 4800 car build. So here is the front one for the front drive shaft. I'll have my buddy Travis put that on the lathe and knock down that lip, but it's got the right pattern, I believe, to run the 2011 front drive shaft. So I'll be running that in both front and rear. Let's see, the other thing is, here's the old flywheel or flex plate from the 4L80E. It's got 6 bolt holes, and the new torque converter just has 3. So I ordered a used flex plate off of eBay and realized that it's not a flat flex plate with a spacer. So I go to put in the bolts, and these bolts won't work. because it's not threaded all the way down, and they're not short enough. So I ordered some ARP bolts. They're a little bit stronger anyhow, so they should be here tomorrow. And then the other thing is, I had my 5-year-old and myself yank out the stock rear axle. It was just sitting in there. I only had one wheel stud on there just to hold the 8-lug wheels on, because I needed to see the ride height to set up the jacks and everything else with those springs. So the 14 bolt is just sitting under here right now. I sandblasted it a little bit before I put it in, ground off some of the brackets. I made the truss with, I don't know, let's see if I can get in there. So that is for the coil springs, spaced out perfectly for a Trailblazer, going to a 14 bolt. Here are the springs. Those were the JKU. They're actually the fronts. 5.5 lift, triple rate. So we'll see how well they do. I also test fit the 14-inch travel shocks, and I got 6 inches of shaft showing, and it only hangs down, I don't even know if it hangs down an inch, but that's 14-inch travel shock. And on my last rig I had like, I think 5-inch of collapse on the shock at ride height. But yeah, these shocks, I'm going to the outside of the frame. I can go all the way up there. So yeah, once again, this Trailblazer is just awesome with the way it's set up. And then I'm getting ready to throw in the links next. Here's the brackets I make. This is just a display one. You know, I had powder coated, but it makes it nice to just be able to set stuff up there and test each bracket. I mean, here's a couple more. That's a frame bracket. Another one, the inside frame, top of truss. This is a track bar, panhard bar bracket. I don't know, I got coil buckets that I make too, adjustable ones. So yeah, and then the other thing is I got the exhaust on, just the stock manifolds, because I want to get this thing running to keep motivation up. That's the biggest thing, is to keep your motivation up. Even though this is something that, yeah, I have to redo, I have to put headers on later and stuff, but you know what, I'm rebuilding this engine to add more horsepower later anyway. So I am only trying to keep my motivation up. I want to get this thing running and being able to shift through the gears right there. And that way, when it comes time to do the front suspension, which is one of the last things, I mean, I'll do the front suspension, then I'll do the cage. But when I do the front suspension, I'll have plenty of motivation to get that done. I do have to learn how to TIG weld, so that's gonna be fun. I've only done it once. I've MIG welded a ton, gas welded a ton, stick welded a bunch. That's what I learned on. So yeah, that's the progress. So I'll throw in some clips of different things that I did along the way. So don't pull the trigger yet. Put it on there first. All the way on there. Go. Alright. Yeah, let's get that tire off there. Stay back. Back over there. Okay.